Hello, everyone, and welcome into another episode of the First Class Podcast. I'm your host, Joey B. Sitting across from me, as always, Tony Vegas. Today's a little bit special. It's a little bit different. Game day for the first time in 2026. Well, not really. 2026-2027 season. Tony, how you doing? How you feeling? This is a great day, man.
I mean, Joey, it's finally here. We get to watch the New York Football Jets play just that. They're going to play football today, and seems like everybody's going to play. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see Kenyon Sadiq today, or I think D'Angelo Pons, but in due time, we don't need to see them today necessarily. But it's going to be cool, man. We have an interesting QB2 situation. I'm expecting him to get a lot of looks, and it's football's fucking back, man. I love it. I'm pumped, and fuck yeah, I can't even control myself right now.
It's very, very excited over there. Yeah,
I'm very eloquent with my words today.
But yeah, preseason game. Preseason's in full swing. Last night you have Michael Clemens out there on the Colts. It was fun watching him. He still sucks. Good to see.
He dropped back in coverage for a play. That happened. They dropped Michael Clemens back into coverage. I saw like 4 flashbacks of a tweet I saw.
I was like zoned in on him, not to talk about him a bunch, but I'm just like every rep, I'm just sitting there like I am so happy that we don't have to watch or deal with this year.
Reverse scouting.
Yeah, exactly. It's really nice. Titans playing last night, the solid Dable Giants Jets crew. So yeah, tonight we finally get Jets football against the Buccaneers. It's been a really chippy week of training camp practices. I feel like every time I looked on Twitter, there was a fight. Bailey has been the talk of the town, right? I feel like everyone's been raving about him. He's must watch TV. That's the biggest note, I feel. And the biggest excitement is that everyone's playing tonight. So all the starters are going. It'll be nice to see a drive or two and then hopefully see the rookies shine. What is your big takeaway from this week? And what are you looking forward to for tonight's game?
Yeah, there are a few storylines that I saw, and I was commenting on Twitter, but I would love to chat it out on the mic with you. Obviously, David Bailey's been very encouraging. I really just hope he doesn't get 12 sacks. I'm hoping he gets 4 instead and can play the run a little bit better. Shout out Sabo. That was a crazy thing I saw.
So
looking at it. If he gets 12 sacks, he's right between, I think, Will Anderson and some other like Pro Bowl / All Pro edge rusher. If he gets 12 sacks as a rookie, he's winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, and we're looking at this guy like, holy shit, we just drafted Von Miller. So I get his point. Yeah, if he's useless in the run, that's one thing, but I don't think he is, and that's been one of the more encouraging signs from him in camp, right? Like, he's been in the backfield making plays on rundowns. So, I mean, everything coming out of there is great, and we've said this a million times. We expect it from him, right? This is a guy that should change our defense. He's basically the number 1 player taken in this draft if you remove quarterbacks from the situation. So that's very encouraging. There's some discourse around Omar Cooper being hopped by Isaiah Williams, which, it's camp jargon, dude. Like, I'm sure they're going to give, Omar Cooper every opportunity to prove that he was worth that 30th overall pick. They like him. And he hasn't even played a preseason game. So, I mean, let's hold our horses on that. I wasn't the highest on him coming out of the draft, but I mean, it's still like, he's going to be fine. Like, he's a practice. He's not necessarily a practice player. He's a yard after the catch guy. He's bowling ball downfield. Like, let's give him the ball in his hands in a real life game scenario, hopefully today, and see what happens. And then, the ups and downs with Geno Smith. I think that's something we touched on here too. To be expected. We didn't trade a 7th round pick for this guy that's going to throw 35 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, right? It's not how it goes. So I think, how he looks today is going to be interesting, but it's been very up and down, and it's to be expected with Geno Smith.
Yeah, I agree. There's nothing. The expectation should be that it's going to be a roller coaster, and then if you're going to get one of the good or bad, it's most likely going to be the bad. I would say if it's good, it's a mirage, and same thing with Reich and all the the whole coaching staff. But a lot of other talk that I've been hearing is like Dane Belton looks like he's really beelining for that spot next to Minkah Fitzpatrick. Like you said before, would really like to see Pons out there. I think that's coming next week. Jets just took Osai off the PUP list, which is nice. I almost forgot about him. Like, Sweat too. Like, hopefully get him back before the start of the season. There's just a lot of like, luckily, smaller injuries that the Jets are working out through this training camp. The fights were a little much this week, in my opinion. Like, I like the grittiness in the fights. It just seems like too much. Like, can we just stop and just practice? I know you probably feel
It goes
differently
two
on that,
ways,
but
though. Allegedly, and Pat was actually at, or our old co-host was actually at the practice, in which I think that broke out. I think it was that one, but Bailey was beating his ass, and then he like tapped him on the helmet, and then he like threw like the Bucks guy threw a fucking punch at him, and it was just like, all right, dude, you're getting your ass whipped by a rookie. It is what it is. Like, take it to the chin. And then he gets on the mic and he's like, yeah, I beat him in one-on-one. And then whatever. First play, next practice, you see the Connor Hughes tweet where he's like, yeah, David Bailey absolutely whoops. I don't even know the guy's name. I forget his name.
Gadecki.
What?
Gadecki.
Yeah, Gadecki.
Goed
Matsui. And just get real, man. Like, it's great that he had a lot of it stemmed from David Bailey just whooping ass. And
yeah,
he has like a 28-year-old, pretty good pass blocking offensive tackle, throwing haymakers at practice. That's usually a good sign. I'm with it.
I think you mentioned it earlier too, just kind of running down the list. Klubnik's going to be a big talking point tonight. You see some of the other rookies, like Aller last night had a really good night. The guy that a lot of Jets fans talked about wanting. What is he going to be? Like the game action stuff is really intriguing to me, just based on the season that he had 2 years ago and a little bit of a fall off last college season. But to see what he can be, and if he does come out firing and looks really like he could be that number 2 option, I'm still really convinced they're going to bring in a veteran guy. I don't want that, but I think they will end up bringing someone in. Is he going to be good enough to just put the stake in the ground and say, I'm the number 2 quarterback for this team? That's a big question, I think.
It's an interesting like development for him. It's usually with these like 4th round rookies, they're third string. You have 2 veterans in, and that's it. If he's able to, Frank Reich's not a court jester, right? Like, he's been around the block, and obviously he was very high on Cade Klubnik. If they really, with their backs against the wall as a coaching staff, trust him as that quarterback too. First of all, it's very ballsy on their end because, we don't really know what he is. And I think preseason is going to play a lot into this. If he looks like absolute dog water, I think they're going to bring somebody else in. But dude, if he goes out there and performs pretty good against backups, like, who's to say he shouldn't be the QB2? I personally think that he will be the quarterback too, just based off of how high they were on him. I think they're going to run with Zappe. I think they're going to do their current quarterback room with Zappe as like the emergency or whatever, the guy that they like bounce up, from the practice squad, up and down. Klubnik is 2, and Geno. And I think that's going to be very good for whatever you think of Cade Klubnik. It's going to be good for his development to, be, have an actual like role on the team year 1, right? Being that QB2, it's real. Geno Smith's 35. He very well could get hurt, and he's got to be game planning like he's going to be starting games. So, all the more kind of it's a good thing for him. And I'm not one of those guys that are like, is Klubnik the answer? No, I'm not ever going to think that. My whole take on it is Klubnik going to be able to compete with the quarterback we bring in next year out of the draft? Is he going to be able to push him? So, I'm with it, man. Like, no matter what you think, it is a good thing for Cade Klubnik.
Yeah, I think when talking specifically about him, I'd love to see like comfortability in the pocket. I don't want to see happy feet. I'd like him to see him getting the ball out on time, stuff like that. Just really simple mechanical stuff that there is stuff early on in like even Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, where you saw like the happy feet kind of panicky in the pocket. It'd be nice to see if he came in and just kind of gelled nicely with the offense. And he's obviously going to make mistakes and such, but flip it back. Okay, you're going to say something?
That happens. The happy feet should happen. I saw I was watching Mendoza yesterday, and even him, he looked like he had happy feet too, and he was like, he's one of the more polished prospects. So if we do see it today, I'm not like red flag, because so many of these guys, dude, they're like, holy shit, I'm in the fucking NFL. It's real.
It's jarring. I think it's like once you have the uniform on and you're like, oh my God, this is not this is not Ole Miss or this is not whatever team it is. They're kind of a little panicky, but yeah,
This is the
I agree with you.
Cincinnati Bengals. Like, holy shit.
Exactly, yeah. Like there's real fucking players on the other side. Uh, just touch on the defense a little bit. I think like a lot of talk has been around the corner room. Like Nashawn Wright's been banged up. Az Thomas has been playing pretty well. I've seen a lot of PBUs on his end. I am interested to see like how everything shakes out, how Stevens looks, just the depth at corner and the safety room as well, and then the linebackers. I'm curious about the depth in that room and who kind of steps up there. Like I hear a lot of buzz about like Mykal Walker or McCreary Ball, like those names. Who's going to step up as that, I guess, depth piece or that extra linebacker? So Mauioa, like I don't know. Like this is the time where you kind of figure that stuff gets ironed out.
You'd hope it's Maui Goa. I mean, they used the 5th round pick on him. If he can be the third linebacker, I think that's about what you expect out of a 3rd round pick, right? He's not going to be great in coverage, but he at least he can, fill some gaps and defend the run. That cornerback room. I think I'll admit that I was wrong on Az Thomas. I guess he is having a better camp than I thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like he's going to win that cornerback 2 role and take advantage of Wright being a little bit banged up. You see some nice pass breakups from him. I think there's a chance that he ends up, we see a Thomas Pons CB1, CB2 scenario at some point this season, because there was one rep I saw of Brandon Stephens. It was like the classic Brandon Stephens rep in which he's draped all over the receiver. I forget his name, Ted Johnson or whatever it is on the Bucks. He was draped all over him in perfect position, borderline pass interference, but I think he would have gotten away with it in a game. And he goes to swat the ball, misses, and the receiver catches it. And it's just like, this is what he is. He doesn't catch the ball. He's good at putting himself in a position to make a play, but he just never does. And, from your 29-year-old cornerback 1, I don't know. I think they're going to give Thomas and Pons every opportunity to kind of like eat at reps from him, especially because, he's not going to be on the team next year. Realistically, I think they're going to roll with, maybe a 1st round pick next year at corner. Who knows? It's encouraging with Azareye'h Thomas, right? I mean, 3rd round pick last year, could have gone, high, mid 2nd round. And it seems like he's performing to expectations, especially if he snags a starting role from, Wright, who proved he can, produce on that side of the ball. So we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see how they roll out today and how many reps they get.
I mean, if we're looking at a week 6, like Pons, Az Thomas, CB1, 2, that's a really good sign.
Like, and then what's his face? It's slot.
Jarvis Brownlee.
Yeah.
I am curious to see what he can do too.
They're like 21, 21, and 24. Like, that's great.
Yeah. There's a lot of names on the defense that have potential. It's just, are they going to be able to step in that role? Like if Pons actually does step up and secures that CB2 role on the outside, that's huge for that defense. And I understand that the cornerback room isn't as strong as we'd like it to be, but you got to take hits somewhere, right? And if the defensive line is, I see a lot of buzz about trading Will McDonald and whatever the case is, right? Very possible that could happen by, mid-season, maybe even earlier if stuff starts to, topple on top of each other. But I'd like to see how the defensive line being good could ease a lot of that on the secondary. That's kind of how I'll leave it. And that's if they're good. And we have a lot of names. We're not even talk about Briggs. If you have this line at full power, what it could be, takes a lot of pressure off the secondary. And we don't need a Sauce Gardner. You don't need this star cornerback if your line in the middle of the defense is humming.
Yeah, and you said it great, right? I mean, they're going to take a hit somewhere. Unfortunately, corner is a rather important position, but you have to look at like the opportunity cost here, right? I mean, trading Sauce Gardner got us what we think to be an absolute freak at tight end, and potentially ammo, or depending on what the Colts do, that pick might be our quarterback. Which in that case, I would gladly trade Sauce Gardner, and I'm not even talking about Adonai Mitchell right now, who looks fantastic. So it's going to be like a let's wait and see type of year from that room. And it is what it is, man. You can't go out and spend all your money and spend all your draft picks on every position. They didn't have unlimited assets, but you're right. That defensive line, especially in run defense, man, like I don't know how you're going to get around Juwan Briggs and Tavondre Sweat like
It's tough, man.
And then they have a bunch like Onyemata and Kingsley, whose last name I cannot pronounce, from the Packers.
Kingsley Enagbare.
I'm just not going to get that. It's not going to happen. Don't ever ask me he's Kingsley to me. So
Okay.
What's his number? Is he like 90 or something? I'll just call him 90. That's actually
Is that his
retired.
number? I didn't know. Okay.
So they brought in guys. I mean, Osai's like decent against the run. I think he was like the 20th best edge against run last year in Cincinnati. So that's going to be encouraging. I actually added to the Will McDonald discourse. And it's funny because like I'm such a bonehead, Joey. Sometimes I'm just like waltzing around. I was like looking at Madden, and I was just like, "Holy shit, Will McDonald's 27? Like that sucks." Next year he's 28 years old. You're gonna have to pay him. You're not paying him. No shot. I just don't see them doing it. And as an edge rusher too, is that a good edge rusher too? No doubt, but you have to think down the line, and the Falcons need one. That's why I kind of threw that out there. I threw it out like for a 3rd round pick. They should be able to get a 2. I think Muji would be able to get a 2, but for right now, I'm not focusing on that. Let's see what Will McDonald has, and he's going to be matched up against their second best tackle, right? They're going to put Bailey on whatever side. Actually, I don't know how that's going to work. It's going to be he's not like the main pass rushing threat anymore, right? We have Bailey, so he can be that Robin to David Bailey, and it's going to be cool for hopefully for a drive or two we get to see that today.
Yeah, I'd like to see like what the snap count's going to be in the regular season too with Will. Like, is it going to be something where they're only throwing him on packages on 3rd down because they have guys who can set the edge? Like,
you should.
Yeah. Like, do you throw Bailey and Will out there on a 3rd and 15 and just freaking send the house?
Yeah, that's what they should. And why would you pay Joseph Asai, $15 million a year if you're going to put Will McDonald out there on 2nd downs?
Yeah,
they made actual legitimate investments in that edge room, and I get it, they're different skill sets, but they used the number 2 overall pick on a pass rusher, and they gave a reasonably large contract to Joseph Asai this offseason. So I don't know, just reading the tea leaves, if there were a player to be traded, I would say it would be Will McDonald.
And I'm honestly fine with it. And I hate to be this guy, but the production coming in these little pockets of games,
bunches.
I don't like that. Like that just shows it's is it a morale? It's a one-trick pony. I get it. He does his one trick extremely well, the spin move.
Yeah.
But for to have 3 sack games and then a 5-game break and then a 4-sack game, that's great. But it just doesn't show the consistency to where I'm like, we got to pay this guy. So
yeah, you're going to pay him until he's 32 years old. I don't know.
I didn't even know he was 27, Tone, honestly.
Dude, that's the problem with taking these 24-year-old edge rushers, right? This is the position you put yourself in. And Bailey's not that, luckily. Bailey's 22, and he looks to be obviously 3 times the prospect. But, that's going to be something to watch. And, maybe they didn't draft him. That was a Joe Douglas pick. So,
yep.
I don't know. There's a lot of things that just kind of signal to me he might be the one that they move for a second. And then you have, 3 1s and 2 2s. Holy shit.
It's certainly it's crazy. And and when you put it like that, I would probably do it in a heartbeat. No doubt. I really would.
Yeah. These aren't even good.
You mentioned AD Mitchell. I want to put this out there in the world. If AD scores a touchdown tonight, I will buy his jersey. I
will too. I'll join you on that. It'll be a podcast packed. I was telling you pre-show, I bought the Kenyon Sadiq jersey yesterday. My younger brother, Hank, also bought Kenyon Sadiq, and he's furious at me because now we're both going to be wearing Kenyon Sadiq week 1 at the Winters Brothers tailgate. But if he does score a touchdown today, I will buy a white AD Mitchell. I have the green Sadiq, white AD Mitchell, and I think week 2 is a whiteout, so I need a white jersey. My Tippmann jersey is in Long Island somewhere.
That's really sad. Yeah, the reason I say this because I've been really high on him, obviously, but if reasonably, if he had a really good season this year, I'd probably get his jersey. I love receiver jerseys, but if he scores tonight, it's just a sign. I told myself last night that I almost tweeted. I'm like, I'll just say it on the podcast tomorrow. So,
Bro, you predicted that he had 1,000 yards. That was your hot take. I think you got to get it regardless.
yeah, just imagine if he has 150 yards this year.
He's not. He's at least racking up 600 and 5 touchdowns.
There's a good portion of Twitter, and we all know who these people are, but who actually think that he's going to be horrible. Like he really is that throwing. I am with you. Like I'm not saying he's going to be the next George Pickens where he just kind of like flourishes as this number 2. I'm not saying that, but I think there's a reasonable expectation that he could have 700 to 900 yards and 5 touchdowns, which is on track to becoming a really good wide receiver. He could have more. I think he's going to have more. So I told you guys last week.
He reminded me of George Pickens out of Texas. He's like 6'2".
It does seem like that.
Kind of a crash out. He had I think the reason he dropped was he's like his attitude or something. It wasn't the best. Maybe in interviews he didn't perform well, but he was supposed to be like a first round pick. We have 3 first round talents at receiver this year, and it's going to be fun to at least just watch that amount of talent with Mason Taylor and Kenyon Sadiq at tight end and Breece Hall. Dude, like that's fun. That's going to be fun. And there's a lot of like freak athletes there. Like, I don't know, man. I think this is going to be the first time where it's like, wow, the Jets are really talented on offense. They just need to put it together. Usually it's like, well, they have Brashad Perriman at wide receiver 1 right now. Like, they can't move the ball. That makes fucking sense.
I have nothing on that. Do you want to head to the calls or what do you feel?
Let's do the calls and then let's see if it spurs anything else for this game. I don't know. Are you coming here? Are we watching this game together today or what? I'm going to put you on the spot.
I think I'm definitely leaning towards that right now. I'd say I'm like 95% in. So
for those of you that don't know, Joey does live a fair bit away. Same state in Connecticut, but a fair bit away. I'm trying to get him down to the Bradford stomping ground and watch today's game.
It's either that or I watch it on my laptop on a legal stream probably. So
that sounds lame, man.
I'm probably coming down. Let's hit the voicemails.
Hey guys, it's Nitro out here at Connecticut. Hope you guys are having a good day. Crazy that football season's almost here. I'm getting excited even though it means summer's coming to an end. I'm really looking forward to this upcoming football season, no matter how hard it is to root for these Jets, Jets. I have a question for you guys. I want to know, who do you guys think, or I guess why would there be a reason for Frank Reich to maybe have support this year? I mean, when was the last time the Jets had a decent offensive coordinator? I mean, I guess you would have to go back to 2015 with Chan Gailey leading the offense, but then after that, I really can't think of any other successful offensive coordinators that we really had on the New York Jets. But, enough yapping. I'll let you guys answer the question. Thanks for your time. Go Jets.
Is that a new caller?
That's my buddy Spencer.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
New caller.
So he is a first-time caller for sure. So I guess the question is, why believe in Frank Reich?
I think, well, I'm going to start with one point. I think John Morton had like one really good season as a play caller.
He did. I would also argue LaFleur had a really good, what looked to be a really good offensive coordinator in the bag.
Yeah, I mean,
we know what happened there, but
insane. And he looked he didn't look great as a head coach, but in his first preseason game. But Frank Reich, I think it's a classic, like backs against the wall, and we saw Saleh do this too with Hackett. But Hackett, it's a different scenario, right? Frank Reich has head coaching experience. He's been around the block. Like he's like pushing 70, right? He's like 66 years old.
So
there's concerns with him. Is he too old? Is he going to be able to use all these guys that, have all this athleticism? But I mean, he's so experienced, Joey. I do have a little bit more faith in him than others. Like I said, he's been there, done that, and he's had success. And it might not be like too recently, but he's been there before, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of like, all right, let's sit back for a second, let's take a step back and reassess. So you kind of hope to see that, and they put a lot of faith in him. I feel like for this draft specifically, right? I feel like Frank Reich was high on a lot of these guys that they ended up taking, like Sadiq, like Klubnik. I'm sure he liked Omar Cooper, right? So I think his fingerprint has been like on the team, and I don't mind that, right? I don't. Is he the best play caller? I don't know, but I have faith that he can at least pick out like talent, and he should be able to make it work with this. I know he's high on Geno Smith. He went out and said he looks like he's been in the best shape, and he looks like he's in his prime, 28 years old as opposed to 35. So you go from somebody with zero experience to almost like too much experience, and I don't know. It's going to be different. Engstrand didn't do it yet, and you kind of saw it with Frank Reich. At least, if something isn't working, he could at least go back and be like, I've done this before, and it's going to be interesting to see his offense. I don't have a surefire answer. He could be a disaster. I have no idea.
Yeah, I would err on the side that he's good. I could see it getting ugly. I really could see a lot of teams sniffing out what he's going to do. I really feel like that's probably what's going to happen. Why I would try to convince myself what's that supporting reason is what you said, is the experience. Like he's going to come in with a floor that is realistically going to be some of the best offensive scheme I would think we've seen pretty recently. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I mean, it's a guy who's coming in with a ton of experience that's done in a lot of different places. My only concern is, has the game passed him? Is it going to be a lot of stale, older stuff that defenses will pick up really quickly? That's my main concern. But I do take that experience and say, there is that chance, that 20 to 30% chance that he'll have the offense humming. I think it's low. I think it could happen. I just don't think it's very likely. That's all.
There's one thing that I saw from camp, which was interesting, is that they had a bunch of pre-snap motion, and we saw with like the Aaron Rodgers offense, there was none of that.
Allergic to it, yeah.
They were not moving, and that is where we were like, this is a dinosaur fucking offense, dude. This is brutal to watch. They're running 5-yard outs every play. They're not running the ball, and they got away from the run game so early with Rodgers. They weren't moving. So I think that's at least going to be different. I think if it is a dinosaur offense, it's at least going to be, a different, prehistoric age of dinosaur at least.
And hopefully, you have guys like Seth Ryan who are kind of putting their fingerprint and their style on what he's seen in Detroit. You just hope that stuff kind of mixes in. So I think there's a little bit of hope, but I'd pause a little bit with it. Yeah, it's new. There's a lot of new faces. There's a ton of young talent. Does it come together in a year? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Death, taxes, and Sean Jefferson at wide receivers coach.
Yeah, pretty much. Next up.
Hey, Tone, it's Spano here. I know we've gotten a little bit of beef on Twitter. What I'm wondering is, what do you think about these moves? We trade Will McDonald to Atlanta for a 27-second, Olu to Jacksonville for a 27-second and a 28-third, Brees to Denver for a 27-third and 7th, Harrison Phillips to the Chargers for a 27-6, and Minka to Tampa Bay for a 28-6. That'll give us 15 picks in 27. And, I want to hear your thoughts. Thank you.
Well, that wasn't Spano, but...
I have a feeling that was not Nick Spano.
No, it wasn't.
I could be wrong.
That was one of his tweets. I mean, anything to say to that? Like,
I think trading Olu is an insane proposition.
All the other guys are,
I wouldn't trade Minka. We just gave him 3 years, and he's like our best player right now. Like, you need people, dude.
You say that though, and then you're 0-7, and the coach is gone. There's ways that it can play out. I do. What is he really? Man. Like, what is he really worth at this point, man? Like,
I get it, but this isn't like, people get way too wrapped up into like the picks game, and like, dude, we have plenty of picks. Will McDonald, fair. Like, I get it. I'm kind of with him on that. If you can get a second from the Atlanta Falcons, we already talked about this, I would do it. But trading Harrison Phillips and Minka Fitzpatrick and all these guys for like 6-round picks, like, dude, you're going to draft a quarterback and they're going to be surrounded by a bunch of like 21-year-olds. And that's how you get wrapped up into the whole, this needs a veteran, presence. The locker room's a shit show. you're going to have a new coach potentially come in and have nobody to like at least prove to these guys how to be a professional. That's the issue. Why are we trading Harrison Phillips? He's like a captain of the team.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. You want to keep a nucleus of veteran guys that you feel comfortable in the next at least 2 years when you have a rookie quarterback. I totally hear you. I think it all depends on the situation. I do agree though. Trading Olu,
That's insane.
It's insane. And I was going to say the only reason I would is if he completely fell off the cliff, but then his trade value would be at like near nothing. But I wouldn't trade him. We're not doing that. People give up on players really easily. Like we're talking about a 20-year-old Mason Taylor from the same side of Twitter, and we're already giving up on him because he didn't play well last year. He's 20 years old with Justin Fields. Like,
I disagree that he didn't play well last year. He had like 50 catches.
I'm just quoting what people say.
I know, but like, Jesus Christ, we don't understand. Like, do people just forget that tight end takes a while to develop? Like, we lost the plot. We're yelling at somebody that is half of these people that are yelling. Like, the people that hate Mason Taylor are twice his age. Like, this is a legitimate, like, kid. This is a kid. This is younger than my youngest brother. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's 6'5". He's a smooth route runner, and he's going to play a role in this offense. And guess what? Kenyon Sadiq is hurt. Thank God we have Mason Taylor. Otherwise, we'd be looking at Jelani Woods, who I had a dream about that converted to defensive end the other night. Weird. The weirdest dream I've ever had. But let's take it easy. I'm content with Mason Taylor as a secondary option in this offense. And, I think we need to slow our roll on trading away young players like Olu Fashanu, who's a 22-year-old tackle who's proven that he's at least good pass blocker.
What did PFF have him at before I go to the next call? Like 13th or 14th or something.
Yeah,
left tackle.
He's projected to be like a top 15 tackle this year at the hardest position to play on offense other than fucking quarterback. So
that's normal progression. Like, not everyone can come in and be Armand Membu, but I digress.
No.
Next up.
Hey, how you doing? This is Billy Bucktooth calling from Staten Island. I'm curious if you think we're going to build around Demario Davis. I think he's still got a few more years. Tom Brady played till he's fucking like 45. So I think Demario Davis is a very good linebacker, and we should build around him. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you.
We are never getting sponsored on this show.
Nope. If he plays another 10 years, maybe we'll build around.
Let's build around him. We got to build around 37-year-old Demario Davis. I think I had this argument before. I didn't have like high expectations for him. Dude, he was like really good last year in like pass defense too. Like he had like I don't know, it was like a top 10 pass, PFF rating for middle linebacker. He is legitimately a top 5 middle linebacker in the NFL. And until he proves that he's not, let's build around him.
Yeah, it's just when is the dropout going to happen?
It's coming, but like he's so smart and cerebral. Like as a player, I feel like he's going to be one of those guys that hopefully he's not going to play until he's 40, but like a year or two.
I mean, Saints fans were probably saying the same thing 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Next year will be it. Next year will be it. And he just keeps. You're right. As long as he stays healthy.
The Jets green though, Joey. His powers will get zapped, but he might be immune because he's been here 2 other stints.
Yeah, you're right. It's once you put on that jet green, it's over.
He's a Jet.
Let's wrap it up.
Hey, how you doing? This is Johnny Tsunami from Kauai. I'm just wondering, is Kenyon Sadiq the worst pick in Jets history? I'll hang up and listen.
Just bought his jersey, man.
I just bought his jersey, Johnny Tsunami. What the fuck? I have a feeling that Johnny Bucktooth and Johnny Tsunami are the same person, by the way.
Yeah, they sounded eerily similar.
Both named Johnny, by the way. So that's interesting. Johnny Tsunami, I feel like we got to see him play before we make that assumption. But I'm excited for him, man. I think he's going to be one of those players that like we haven't. I love how we're turning this into serious discussion.
You have to, right?
It's our jobs at this point. I mean, it's going to be a player that we've never really seen, right? Like you have concerns, and I was up at night thinking, reading Jets Twitter. I was like, obviously there's a chance that he's OJ Howard, right? There's always that possibility. Or my God, what was the guy that the Lions drafted? And he actually ended up having a decent career. He made a Pro Bowl or two. What was his name? Hold on.
Eric Ebron?
Yes, Eric Ebron. He was like a freak. There are like tight ends like that have proven to like not be worth it, but I don't know, man. Like I have a feeling that Kenyon Sadiq is going to be really, really fucking good. I mean, 6'3", runs a 4.4. I just don't see. He's built like a legitimate brick shit house. I just don't see a world where that doesn't translate. And he has a good head on his shoulders too. Like he's not a shithead. So I don't know. I bought his jersey for a reason. I have a good track record with jerseys, by the way.
I love that.
I had
You need that kind
Sherwood
of good luck.
before the contract, so give me some grace on that one. Joe Tippmann got extended.
You do have a 99 Will McDonald.
I had Will McDonald. I mean, dude, the following season after I got his jersey, he had 10 sacks. So we'll see.
Sadiq, man, certified freak, right?
Dude, we were talking about this. Like, imagine they draft like Nick Harbor next year, and you have like Nick Harbor, Kenyon Sadiq, Garrett Wilson. Like, dude, that is like, you could build a basketball team.
Let's do it, man. I'm down.
Just build the freakiest team.
Down. Jelani Woods.
Take Dylan Stewart too. That guy rushes like fucking the last airbender.
I love it. Yeah, that dude that guy's a freaking freak.
Dude, could you imagine like they're in a position with like multiple top 10 picks, you get your quarterback, and then you take him next to David Bailey? Oh my God. We could have like a Broncos S defense. It's gonna be very interesting, man. Like they have an opportunity to really, they could turn this shit around if they want, if they are smart enough.
I totally agree. Well, I'll leave it at this. Like, there's a lot of people who will say sim the seat till the end of the season. I'm excited for tonight. You're excited for tonight. There's a large portion of normal fan base that is excited for tonight. Even if we're going to be checked out by, the third quarter, it's still fun to see because we're sick. We're all sick. We like to see who the, fourth string linebacker or the, backup punt returner or whoever the hell it is. Honestly, one thing that I want to close it out with is I'd like to see good kicking performances tonight. You look over at New England last night with Borgales, who started to fall off last season. He missed 3 field goals last night for the Patriots.
Yeah, it's a problem for them.
And now it's just a giant hole. The Jets let go of Nick Folk, who, yes, weaker leg, but was automatic from 50 in. The Jets have, I'd like to give the benefit of the doubt to their special teams just based off the coaching and what we saw last year.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? It's going to be Saunders or York. Like, it'd be nice to see them both making kicks and having that decision to be a really hard one to make at the end of the season. So
I weirdly am planting my flag in the Cade York camp.
It's an interesting. I disagree. I think I'm more of a Saunders guy, but
I mean, he's like a proven NFL kicker. Cade York he has been a jester with a nuke of a leg. So
that's what scares me, though. It's just like, will he bury a 64-yarder and then miss a 37?
I know, it's like a guy that can't hit layups, but he can hit threes.
Exactly, and that's what scares. Like, I like the consistency at at the end of the game. We're trying to extend the lead to 10, and it's a 42-yard field goal, and it's just completely, on a different planet. So I'd like to see the consistency, but we'll see what happens, right? Like, there's a reason why these guys were out there. They're not like these Pro Bowl all-star kickers that we're picking them up on free agency. It's a carousel with these guys, and unless you have like 2 or 3 of the, like, Aubrey, the guy on the Bates on the Lions, Cam Little on the Jags, like, there's very limited group of kickers that just stay with the same team. Jason Myers in Seattle, former Jet, we had it the whole time years ago.
He was great too. Like, he's a Pro Bowler.
Dude, Kyle had him on fantasy last year. It pretty much won him the champion. Like, he's so good and consistent. It was just spitting out 18, 19-point weeks. Whatever. Now I'm getting down a rabbit hole, but
let's talk for 20 minutes about kickers.
Exactly. Regardless, go follow us on all socials. We'll have this episode out ASAP. We'll be back hopefully next week before me and Tone hit the road to Michigan for a wedding. We'll see what we can do. Jets play next Friday. Steelers. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of bullshit
Who
online.
are we playing this week? I don't even know.
Buccaneers.
Duh, I'm an idiot.
The joint practices. Come on. You know
I knew
this.
we were practicing against the Bucks. I was like, why are they here?
the Bucks are in town just for practice, and they're going to fly out to LA and play the Rams.
Joey, do you think if the New York Giants and the San Francisco Giants are in at the same time, do you think they just get dinner?
They just grab dinner? Yeah.
Get dinner. The Jets and the Winnipeg Jets.
Regardless, thank you guys for listening. We'll talk to you at some point next week. Go Jets. Enjoy the game tonight. And we'll see you. Peace.